This is Sandy Minkle. I am with Matt Daniels, and we are on video 2 of the 40 Days of Gratitude. Matt, I noticed that you have a template for appreciation stories, and I was wondering if you would walk through that with us.
Yeah, I'd love to. I think they might know us as the Gratitude Twins before all this gets done. So, which would not be a bad thing. So, yes. So we have a tool that we use, and it's important to remember that I always love the strategic as well as the supernatural. And anytime you're learning a new skill, it helps to have like a set of steps that you do. But if you notice, think about riding a bike. If you're learning to ride a bike, I want to learn balance. I want to learn this. I want to learn that. But really the point of riding a bike is not like to be proud of yourself for skill mastery. The point of riding a bike is to get somewhere, or the joy and the freedom or whatever. So the great thing about skill practice is once you've mastered something, you tend to not think about the steps anymore. You put it all into place. So I'll do a quick walkthrough of what we do in the beginning stages and throughout the 40 days for people that need a little bit of an extra, well, it's for everybody to learn step by step on how to do this. So we have, and I guess it's attached to this mail as well, a what I call a reconnect and rewire gratitude story worksheet. And the reconnect and rewire is we're actually connecting things in our brain that are not connected, or the connections are weak. And I want to give credit to Jim Wilder and Chris Corsi, Life Model Works, Thrive Today, another couple of the Lopnows who have done a lot of pioneer work in this. And so I have adapted this sheet for what really works well for me. So when I sit down, here's a sheet with a few steps on how you go through this, and I'll just hit them step by step and give you a quick example of what this is like when it's in action. So the first step, when I sit down and I tell someone, really connect with some gratitude, it might be that something immediately comes to mind. They have an appreciation memory. I'm thinking about the time I got a pony when I was 8. I never got a pony, but if that was it and it popped in my mind, you wouldn't need step 1, which is recognize, how do I feel at this moment and how am I feeling physically? So that step 1 is there for people that are oftentimes like, I'm not connected with anything. My mind is an absolute blank. A lot of times before you can connect with appreciation, you just need to recognize whatever the heck is going on with you. You might be tired, you might be stressed. This is very similar to our check-in in Luke 10. So you could do a sachet and say, how do I feel at this moment? Right now I'm feeling a little anxious. I'm feeling a little tired. How am I feeling physically? Physically, I'm feeling tired. I just want to pay attention. I want to notice that. Noticing that is a way to give a little bit of extra attention to myself. And that also is in itself an act that one can appreciate later on down. So the second step on this is to recollect a moment of appreciation. And here's what you do. You briefly describe where you were, when the event happened. I was over at my dad's house. What happened? My dad and I had a conversation where he told me he appreciated me. How did you feel when it happened? I felt connected to him. I felt seen. I felt noticed. What did it feel like physically? What it felt like physically was, the word safe. Felt like I was held. And how did I respond? I looked him in the eyes and I said, thank you for sharing that, and told him I loved him. So that is big work right there. It's one step, but there's a lot of skills that go through it. We do a couple things more with this that I'll walk through in a second video. But one of the things that my wife Tony pointed me out to me, she said, Matt, in your gratitude template, your worksheet, she's like, you put like 30 skills into one. It wasn't 30, it was 4 or 5 into one sheet. And these 2 are the ones we start off with. We recognize exactly and accept whatever's going on at this moment. How many people, and I'll just say that when you do this with a group, the idea of radical acceptance is not just for yourself, but for others. So how many times when you share your feelings do people typically say, oh, don't worry, it'll get better, or you just need to pray through that. And there's a sense of I I can't just accept what you're feeling and say thank you.
Mhm.
So if you were to use this template in a group, the way you radically accept someone is you don't try to fix them or save them or change them or correct them. You just say thank you.
Mhm.
And then the moment of appreciation is how we described it there. And if we do some more segments, we can walk through some of the other steps.
What if that moment of appreciation is something more basic, like I walked through the door and I smelled dinner on the stove?
Yeah, it is. I just sort of went with what kind of popped into my mind. But again, the same thing applies where in that case we're just back to the moment of appreciation, not a high, high quantity of emotional content. It could be I walked in, I saw somebody I hadn't seen in a long time, or I saw my dog. My cat came up to me when I came home. All those things is to stop, jot down in a couple words what happened, what the feelings were, and then how did I respond. Like the cat thing. I saw my cat and meowed, rubbed across my legs. I felt comforted.
Mhm.
What did I do? I picked the cat up in my arms and snuggled it, before it scratched me and jumped down. Uh, that's it. That's it. And then I paid attention to what I was feeling when it happened. So those are steps 1 and 2 of this process.
Okay, great. Thank you, Matt.
Okay, thanks.